Welcome back to our next session. I'm excited for this one because I'm going to get to see stuff that I've maybe seen some of it before, but I think it's moved on a bit since I last saw it. So this is a session I've been looking forward to. I don't want to take up too much time, but just to say we have got a few more sessions left today. Please do keep coming and getting involved, jumping in the chat, sharing them with people all over socials. I can see posts going up everywhere, which is great. And please do engage on the website. We've got some great links from our sponsor iSpring in there, just with some free resources that you can download around instructional design and freelancing and strategy development. But without further ado, I'm going to shut up and get out of the way. Daryl, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Tom. And thank you again for arranging everything. All right, so today we're going to talk about how AI can be used as an assistant to create some new compelling ways of creating content. I probably realized I got too many creates in that title, but let's jump in. So who am I? So please check out my LinkedIn. We'll drop that into the chat a little bit later to see my kind of history, but I've been involved in a few tools and platforms over the years. So I'm going to kind of skip over that part quickly because I'd love to talk about more about where I work and what we do. So my role is kind of mix both product and engineering, but specifically in the learning space. And this has enabled me to play a lot with AI, but it's also kind of helps us understand problems faced across multiple large-scale companies and individuals wanting to create engaging learning experiences. I've realized I'm maybe a little addicted to solving problems, so that's kind of my role. I just love solving problems, everything, like super. It's like, I think about them all the time, apart from sandwiches, which I love, I think slightly more. So I love sandwiches, like I really, really love them. So much so that I actually have a dream, and some of you who know me, I'd like to open up a sandwich shop. And me and my daughter have kind of bounced around ideas, and she really wanted to create a craft store. And I want a sandwich store. And we were thinking, wow, we could combine them, like in between sandwiches, you could do crafts and crafts in between sandwiches. And like, wow, that'd be great. We came up with the name Witchcraft. Yes, Halloween at a sandwich shop with crafts is gonna be incredible. Anyway, let's get back into it. So I kind of want to talk about our approach to AI, and it's kind of scary. Not the sandwiches, but AI. And so nobody really knows which way this is all going to go. So how do we put these things in place to help this? And all this thinking led us to our human AI human sandwich. And we believe this is the most effective way to bring AI into your L&D role. So let's break it down. Emily Reed, yeah, it's great, right? My daughter, she's a genius. All right, so let's think about this as a sandwich. We have 3 layers, right? We have bread, layer 1, which is the bottom. We have our fillings, and then we have our bread at the top. So bread layer 1, this is human input, and this is crucial in making sure that all the initial content is of high quality. So the more accurate content you can feed into an LLM, the large language model, the better the content. That includes structure, media types, and audience are all important here. So the more you can fill into it, the better, which basically comes to the more context is always equal to better outcomes. So, and with it being the base layer of the sandwich, this is important to have a good, solid foundation. So we'll move on to the fillings, and this is where AI comes in. AI is really good at understanding words and structures, which makes it perfect for content creation. This means we can benefit from AI doing all the heavy lifting on tasks that are repetitive. Bread layer 2. So now it's the final part of the sandwich. This is the human review and creativity. So we've kind of laid down our first layer, we've done the filling, the AI has done all this stuff. Now it's really, really important to make sure that everything that comes out of the LLM is reviewed and signed off. But also, AI is good, but it's not a learning designer who knows the environment, is face-to-face with the learners, and can think out of the box for creative experiences. Reviewing is a must. So then it also gives you the ability to afterwards, instead of it just being, hey, build me this, hey, build me this, build me this. If you have the other side of it, you also are being able to come in and add sprinkles of creativity on top. So learning design styles, and this is not to be confused with learning styles. So we really need to start thinking about learning design styles, especially with some of this content. We're going to show you some of this in our app in a second and how you can kind of bring this to real life. So content comes in various forms, but to get it to users, sometimes this content needs to be created in a way that's easy to consume. For example, we have one customer that's currently using Quantic, whose content is all in podcast form. And this wouldn't work as a standard text-based course, as the learning is from the conversations of multiple people. So it's all about sharing their views, and it's that sharing of their views will in turn make us think about our own views. Or let's flip it on the other side, which is let's take a coding course. Having this as a podcast format wouldn't work, as I need to follow along with my code editor to really benefit from the example code. So how do we bring this into content creation? So I'm going to demo Quantic. Please bear with me. I'm going to run through it. I would suggest if you like this and you were like, oh, that's quite fun, you should watch it again, because there's lots and lots of detail in everything I'm going to say right now. And it's going to go quite quick. And then I'm going to break it down, so don't worry. And then we're going to go back over it, and then we're going to come back to my slides, and then we'll talk a little bit at the end. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through our brand new course creation side of our authoring tool. So we're going to name our project. We're then going to describe it. And this is quite important that you give a good description. So I'm going to put an introduction to developing growth mindset. Sorry for my lack of typing. I'll just quickly tab through all of that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to select a template. Now, in this template is not just a structure of a course. It actually has learning design baked into it. And I can choose how that template is completely structured, whether we've just got a basic template, whether we've got help articles, whether we've got a course on Zelda. Sorry, I was showing my children that we can build courses on Zelda. Or a full course. Now, these templates are designed by us, as in learning designers that want to come into the tool and build it. You can choose the structure of the course. You can put your own little descriptions back to the LLM, and it will help you build it out. So we'll click course, then we'll select a brand. I've got some interesting brands in here, like the Cockney and Sarcastic, which is a really good one. The Oatly one is really good, and I'll show you that later. I'm going to go over professional tone right now, but this will help you describe a tone. Imagine you're working for a company and you need to describe the tone and also give some examples of it. That's what it enables you to do. We've got a few more features coming around the brand where you're able to take colors and splash that over existing themes. So you only have to build the theme once, but then you can rebrand it all. Now, this is really important because we're kind of doing all the human input, and we've done a lot beforehand. I just haven't shown you all the template stuff. So I'm putting all the human input, and then the AI is going to do some stuff, and then we need to put it for a review. So how in depth would I want to review the content at the end? I'm going to do minimal, and it's going to give me a minimal review, but we can actually go through every single element in the outputted course and actually fully review, like even down to like the individual items and everything. But we're going to go minimal because we don't have too much time on that. So I'm going to drop into a document now. And all I do is I drag and copy over a document. So this is a document on growth mindset, some interesting kind of content around that. And then what I'm also going to do is I'm going to put in step-by-step guide in here as well. So again, I was saying earlier about all the context. As much context as you can feed in, the better the quality of the initial documents that when you start that you put in, the better the output you're going to get. So I drop this all in. This could be help articles. It could be anything you want, because you get to just define the template and the brand, and that's what works. So I'm going to click create, and now I've got 3 documents. I've got a nice template. I've got brand. I'm going to review it at the end, and I'm going to click next. Now, what it does is it analyzes the content, saves all the documents, and put this as context behind everything. Now, in my template, I've said that I would like 3 pages, and for each page, I'd like 3 concepts. It's going to take all of that and generate an outline for me. This is normally quite quick, but given that we're streaming, it might take a little bit longer. But the idea is that once I have my outline, what I'm able to do is actually change the outline, edit the title, the body, or anything like that, and then we'll go into actually building the course. just wait a little bit. There we are. Okay, cool. So here we are. We have a nice structure across everyone. It's taken all the things that I've put in. So it's saying we should understand the growth mindset. And this is taken from all the context that we put around what the course is about as well. It's going to embrace the challenges and learning from mistakes. And it's also going to be building a growth mindset culture, which is great because if you notice my last document that I put in there was actually a manager's guide. So it kind of makes sense. So I'm going to then click next. Now, what it's going to do is it's going to apply the template to the whole project. That includes any kind of pieces of kind of triggers or actions that I've set up in my template. It's also going to build me a whole load of learning objectives. Then it's going to go around and create all the pages. Then it's going to go and generate all the content across every single page and build me out a brand new course across it. Now, we'll look at it in a second. So I'm going to leave this running behind the scenes and I'm going to take you on a whirlwind tour around how I got to the human input of this. And then we're going to come back and we're going to go through the content review and just tidy up the course a little bit. So I'm going to take this and what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop over to a brand new page and I'm going to drop over to content. Now here I have my template. So let's have a quick look at my course template, which is what I used. So I can have a quick look in here and say, okay, well, here's my content. And my first section is going to be a presentational element. My second section is going to be an overview, and I'd like a reveal in here. And you can click into the reveal and see that I've asked for 3 items, and it should be a flip card. I can set up a whole lot of other kind of settings around this as well. And then I would like you to take one concept and use a text and a graphic to explain it. And then I'd like you to take the next concept, put the text and graphic in here, and the third concept with text and graphic. Then I'd quite like you to run a test with 3 questions and an introduction text here, and then a summary with a text and a poll. Now, that's just laying out the structure. It kind of, Quantic understands the kind of section types that you can put in there. But also, one of the things that you can do is you can come in here and actually give a bit more of a description around what it's meant to be used for to kind of direct the LLM. So if you really wanted this to be a poll and describe this kind of section quite well, then it's really, really great for you to be able to kind of use that, and it will take that in as extra context. So what we're able to do is take all of that context around every side of your kind of course creation and then put it in. So I'm going to kind of drill back up because you'll then see how my path is created. I've asked for 3 learning objectives, 3 content pages, and on my project, I've realized that I can put in a few different languages as well. We'll talk about pre-articles, post-articles, supporting articles later because that's pretty exciting, fun stuff later. But how did I build a template? So let's drop back to our project. And what we're going to do is I'm going to just build a brand new project. And I'm just going to select it for my team. And this is a slightly different way of building it. So one of the things that I'm able to do, I'm just going to double check on where our generating course is at. Actually, do you know what? I'm not even going to do that. I've already got some snippets that I've already taken. I can't decide. Should have thought about this before I came on about how to show you snippets. All right, so let's say that I just have my template page and I'd quite like to show you how to build a template out really, really quickly. Now, using my learning design skills, I know that I'd quite like 5 different sections down the page. The first one's going to be an introduction, and then we'll go into, say, 3 kind of concepts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab those 3 there. And these are snippets which have come from unstructured content. If we have enough time, I'll show you snippets as a feature. Basically, what it enables you to do is grab any unstructured content and it spits out the unstructured content into these little snippets. It doesn't change any of the text. It just gives you these really nice kind of structured pieces of content that Quantic can use. So I'm going to drop that in there. And now I've got my 3 articles. And remember that this is really, really rough, by the way. So I'm just trying to build out structure. And I know I want one final one to be my summary. So now I can drop in here, put anything that I want in here. So let's say I wanted, actually, let's grab 3 of these. Again, I'm not caring too much about the content here because I'm trying to build a template. So I'm going to drop that in for a reveal. And then under my properties panel, I'm going to flip that to be a flip card. Now inside there, what it's done is it's taken all 3 of those snippets and put that in automatically for me. So if I open up our preview of this, you can see that it's automatically just dropped those flip cards in there straight for me. So next one is I'd quite like a text and a graphic. So you can kind of see where I'm going with this. I'm just going to kind of drag snippets over and kind of build out something. And then I'd probably put like a graphic in here. I'm not going to go all the way through this. Instead, I'm going to come down to the end where I know I'd quite like to test the learners on something. Now, what's really great is that actually, if you did put any of your course content in, so if I put course content around growth mindset, I could put it into snippets, then drag it, and then drag it over. Once it's dragged over, I can actually create some questions from it. Now, behind the scenes, what it's going to do is generate some questions and answers automatically for me. So take the content, use some really good learning design behind the scenes, and generate a whole load of questions. So if I drop into here now, you can see that I've just built out a whole load of questions, and I can even jump in and actually answer them. And because there's only one final attempt, it also gives me the answer as well if I ever get it wrong, which is great. So if I choose Gannon, it'll then give me the actual answer in there. You can still go in, edit every single one of these questions, edit any of the attempts and the feedback, and kind of still kind of go through and review everything. Oh, we're so close on creating our content review. So that's talking about snippets. And I'm going to drop into, sorry, I've closed the window I was meant to do. There we go. All right. And the last thing I want to show you with the templates is that I also want to talk about brands. So we spoke about the Oatly one. So this is self-deprecating and funny. So we can then give it a nice tone example. And the LLM will use this behind the scenes to be able to take this and check content as you're going through. And we've got some really nice kind of features moving forwards with brands where we'll be able to check your brand tone consistently all the way through different projects. So we'll take a look at the professional one. So this is the tone that we went with today. So professional tone is customer facing and for enterprise. It should be simple and easy to understand. So this is great because it does really enable you to kind of add more context to everything. And this, again, is all that human upfront kind of work that we've done to build a template and to build a brand. I missed off a really important thing. This is what happens when I demo. I just get too excited. So in my snippets course, I built that page, didn't I? I didn't even show you how to actually build a template from here. So once I'm done in here, what I'm able to do is just go to the settings of it and create a template. So this can be my new IDTX template, and I choose the page I'd like it to be. And then what it does is it copies over all of those settings and puts it into my template over here. So now I can drop into templates, go into my IDTX, and you can then see how I can use this to kind of change everything. So actually, let's change the template style, and I'd quite like this to be an overview. And I might put some description in here, which is make sure you really describe in detail, like you are speaking to a new starter about the 3 concepts on this page. So then use that as context moving forwards. I can then come in here. I think we said that this was going to be one of the concepts. So I then drop that into a concept. Again, these content types, we're actually looking to kind of improve them and add them and change them over time. So that's how you kind of build out your template. You can kind of keep adding to it and keep adding to it and trying it out and trying different things. But it does give you a lot of flexibility in terms of content creation. So all of that work that we did all the way back at the beginning, where we've done our human input and now we've put all of our AI to work, what we force you to do is come in and do the human review at the end. Anytime that you're using AI, even when we have our tone brand changes, our snippets or anything like that, whenever you're creating it, we always force you back in to actually review the content. We don't just leave it unreviewed because yeah, mishaps can happen, or sometimes it just doesn't return what you need it to return. So sometimes you just want to go in and actually check what's been written as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to view the review. Now this is brand new. So I haven't even dropped this. This is like first ever live demonstration of this. So you're just about to start a review, so it's an opportunity to comment on. Now, because we've gone in as edit mode, we're actually able to go in and edit the whole thing. Remember, I haven't built any of these interactions or anything like that. I built the template, put the brand, put some really good context documents, put it all together, and AI was able to build all of it out. So what it enables me to do is kind of go through and have a question asked of me. So do I approve this or do I not approve this? Now, what I've realized is that I need a hero image on this. So what I'm able to do is edit the element from either up here, or I can select one of these elements, but my hero image is actually currently hidden because we do some clever stuff around hero images. So I'm just going to drop a nice hero image in there. So I've got a nice hero image in there. That's great. And what we're going to also do is just add an achievement. So you can see I'm coming back in and I'm actually doing some work over the top of it. So I think our growth mindset achievement will be this. So it's like growth mindset as our achievement, become a master of gain an insight into what it's like to have a growth mindset. Sorry, I am not an instructional designer by trade, so I'm sorry for my language in there. So you can see what I'm able to do is kind of jump in, build out my path. I can edit anything else, and once I'm kind of happy with it, I can approve it. So I can also leave comments, and I can also say, no, it needs changes. We can collaborate together as team members on all of this review functionality as well. So I could pass it out to one of my team members and drop them into the same review process to do that. You can even drop SMEs into here to be able to come in and review the content afterwards as well. So I'm going to click approve. And then what it's going to do is it's now going to navigate me to the next section. So this section is a really plain section, but I knew in my template I needed a hero image. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop a nice hero image in there. At any point, I can also just drag hero images from my desktop over as well. So we'll go with this nice hero image, and that should drop that in there. That looks great. So now as I scroll down, and well, actually, I should approve because this is looking at that current section. So I think that's great. And now you can see that it's built all of this content all out for me without me having to put it into the interactions. So that looks great. I quite like the look of that. So I'm going to leave that as is. We're going to drop into the next section. So I would quite like a background image to this one. So we'll just drop growth in there. I'll select a nice background image. And so now we've got this nice background image, and this content is just a placeholder image. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop in here and some nice growth mindset images in. Great. Looking super cool. All right. So I would then go through and approve. I can leave comments. I'm actually going to leave a comment on the next one just to kind of show you what it looks like. So I'm going to say in these changes, I need a brand new growth mindset image for this, and I'm not going to approve it, and I'm just going to click submit. So what it does is it still moves me forwards because I still got to review all the content. But if I actually flip back, you can see I can drop out comments as well, and I can come back in and have a full comment and conversation with people that I might be working with on this. I'm going to leave that one as a white background, and go on to the next one. Let me just drop a brand new image on the back of this one as well. And there we go. All right, so looking quite good. I'm just going to approve a few more of the sections as we go down. So it's even built me all my questions out as well, so I can drop in here and I can. So which statement aligns with a growth mindset? There is no point in trying to learn something new as my potential is predetermined. Let's show that in, and it goes incorrect. Remember, a growth mindset is the belief in the potential for developing skills and intelligence through effort. Now, I'll show you how this works in like a live preview, because it's quite interesting how we can kind of actually edit this in our preview mode as well. But as I go through, there's all my questions. All my questions look good. And if I did want to make changes, I can actually edit them in live. So if I wanted to kind of edit this one right now, and I've got all my poll, I can just quickly edit all my poll. I can put my questions in, etc. But this looks good. I tell you what, we might even just be cheeky and add a background image in there to kind of finish it off. And there we are. All right, so I'm going to then approve the final section of the page. Now, our approval then asks us, let's review the whole page. So now what I'm able to do is come all the way back through, flip through my interactions, go into seeing all my content, how it's been built out. It looks pretty good. Great, 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 and done. and then I would click approve. And now that I've done one page, remember that this has built me out 3 pages worth of content. So I would go through and approve every single page as I go through. So again, I would drop a hero image in on this first page, and I'm not going to do the whole page, don't worry, for those who are thinking, oh no, we can't go through that again. So you can see I can go through that, and then I can approve it and go through. Now, one of the nice things about this is that, let's say that I do close this down and I drop back in and I want to edit anything that I want to be able to do. At any point that I would like to edit anything inside one of the pages, what I'm able to do is, say, right-click this and just click. I can either style it or I can edit it as well. So what it does is it flips my editor over here. So I'm doing between 2 tabs. I'd normally have the 2 windows next to each other. And I can then just jump in and actually edit every single part of it. I can add landscape images to these flip cards. I can literally do whatever I want. I can play with all the settings above here if I wanted to. If I look at this, it's a flip card. Maybe something that would be a little bit better was that I'd quite like it to be a timeline. So we'll just drop into a timeline. And that's now instantly flipped over to a timeline. So you can kind of see that even once I'm done, I'm able to come back in and really, really kind of affect it and put my own kind of sparkle over the top. I'm going to move it back to a flip card anyway. Not only that, because it's theme-based as well, you can actually go through and style every single element, from all the accordion items to, I mean literally everything. You can style everything. There's a lot in there. So where do we get up to? We have done our demo. We've done that. All right, I think I'm going to slow down a little bit because that's our kind of big demo over and done with. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop back over here and just talk a little bit about some of the things that we are kind of thinking of doing. And I'm going to show you a few other things that have kind of happened that we're kind of working on at the moment. So we think that we need to kind of make a bigger sandwich like this sandwich here. And so we think that if we're able to reduce the amount of time that it takes just to put content in, it's not create content. I want to be really, really clear. It's put content into the tool so it could be in a certain format for these other platforms that you might want to use. The content creation at the beginning is so important. And that's really where we're kind of seeing all the learning design being done inside Quantic, is writing these documents, making them really, really rich, and then being able to throw them into Quantic, and it's helping you structure the page based on good learning design. So we think that where we're going to end up with some of this stuff is that we'll be able to do some push learning by using post articles. Now, each one of our project has the ability to have post articles where we can take all the questions that are inside a path, regenerate them for you automatically, get you to review them. Again, human AI, human sandwich. Once you've reviewed them, you'll be able to automatically set them up so it's a nudge-based system just sending out to your users. So that's our kind of future kind of idea of things. We also think that we've got supporting articles in our projects. What we think that will work out with is good knowledge base, or supporting articles that you don't want in the project, but you're able to search over the top or have a chatbot ask questions over the top. We also think that the way that the SME content input could flip, and it's kind of linked to the one next to it, where we think that the SME and learning design content creation flip could happen as well, where the learning designer does all the work inside Quantic to build out the templates, and then throws it to the SME. I can't tell you about a feature, but there's a really cool feature that's coming. If I gave it away too much, it's so good. But I need to make sure it all works before I tell people about features. I get a bit too excited. That we think that we can get a really nice way for SMEs to input content, and it will then play it back over exactly how I've just done and built out that whole course. And then the learning designer can come back in afterwards and actually tidy it all up and kind of add sparkle, change it into a story-led kind of approach to everything. Then we also think that we'll be putting SMEs through content reviews at different phases. It could be really, really early on. It could be almost at the beginning before they even put anything into a course, and we'll kind of build features around that. So we're kind of looking at more just it being a tool than being like a full workflow as well. So we've got the ability to be able to have curriculum design in there, but also the ability to kind of map things all the way down to what people are actually trying to learn. We're going to be starting with problem statements and working all the way down into your content. Then my favorite one, which is something that we've kind of started on because we have tasks and kind of goals all the way through our kind of system, is that we want to automatically analyze your content before going live. So get into the mind with me. There's a situation, Thursday night, the client has said, I need this course on a Friday. Why do you need the course on a Friday? I don't know, I need the course on a Friday, but why Friday? I don't know, it's a Friday, we need a course on a Friday. And you're panicking and you're like, whoa, okay, right, let's just quickly run a check over this content we think is right. And it's able to go through and check, right, is all of this content on brand? Is it all accessible? Is it missing any key points or concepts that you've laid out in your document that you've said that you needed to follow? Oh, here are some. And it'll give you suggestions, and then being able to go, okay, well, let's drop that into the other page. Let's drop it into over here. Okay, this accessibility ARIA label for this image. Here's a good description. How does that sound? And you're like, yes. And you're like, great. And it's almost like a little helping assistant that's helping you build out content at rapid speed so you can then focus on other stuff. And when I say other stuff, I mean story mode and scroll-based content, which is my favorite thing to talk about. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you some of the future features that we've got, and also one feature that we've already got that you can kind of play with automatically in Quantic now. So let me just find the right tab that I need to get to. I'm not on any of the tabs, so bear with me while I quickly drop in and find it. I'm going to close down some of these tabs so we're not distracted. When I say we're not distracted, it's me being distracted. Okay, so I'm going to open this up into a live preview. Oh no, I almost gave it away. That's close. All right, so one of the things that we've got coming is a thing called story mode. So using the new web animation APIs, there is an incredible amount of new tech that's coming out just in the browser. If you think about how AI pretty much comes to us, it's through the web. The browsers behind the scenes have been doing these amazing kind of updates. And one of the things is the new web animation API. Now, if you ever used Flash and you were a bit gutted that Flash disappeared, well, here's what you're able to do now is that you can use these animation timelines to be able to bring this wonderful kind of scrolling elements in it. So you can see I've got two graphics. These are just interactions. So we just drop our interactions in there, and then you're able to kind of style them, place them, add a whole load of animations in. So if I drop this down, you can see that I've got translates, opacities, scales, etc. So if I play this, it will then play through and give me a really nice kind of animation in. And you're able to build them across multiple screens and have them played all the way through. But most importantly, one of the things that you can do is, give me 1 second while I just refresh this because it needs to load a little bit better, is you can also do these animations on scroll. So as I scroll up and down, you can see these animations coming. So what you're able to now do is start kind of doing this beautiful kind of story-based mode because, hey, all of that content creation has been kind of reduced in time. Now I want to add some kind of sparkle on top. Well, here's a great way of being able to do it. We'll enable you to fix this over the screen so it looks like it's completely fixed. I'm a little bit obsessed with this because I feel like I could scroll this for about 10 minutes and not get bored, and I just keep finding like a little bit where it kind of snaps a little bit. And I'm like, oh, it's so beautiful. So they're the types of things that we're also working on behind the scenes. So another thing that we also did was we built out a whole scroll animation page. So let's see, my live preview should update in a second. This is just kind of showing you some of the features that we already have in Quantic, but without adding kind of interactions. So if we kind of think about what Quantic was when we first created it, it was a kind of marketing app to kind of tell stories. And we just had a lot of people asking us, hey, can we export this to SCORM? Can we do this? Can we do this? And so we ended up adding it as a full authoring tool. But it still has a lot of stuff to do with story-based content. So you can see you can fix elements, you can get these nice parallax scrolls, you can adjust images to be whatever size you want, and they're still all fully responsive. And you can do these nice kind of fade between images. Like I could watch this for hours. And as you scroll through, you can see that I'm just taking you through a nice meditation as you're scrolling through. You can even add clickable buttons that will take you through as a really slow journey through this as well. We did a really nice story on AI and kind of took you through everything on that. And then as a special treat, which I frantically pushed in just before we joined, was I added a Rive animation. So we support a whole load of media. We support Lottie files, which are really small JSON files that enable you to upload really lightweight web-based files, but bring animations, and we do all the animations per scroll. This is a RAI file, and this is mind-blowing. Anyone interested in animations or just beautiful moving things on a page, go and check out Rive, which is rive.app, and it is incredible. So watch as I move my mouse. I can wake her up, and then I can bring her around as I'm moving my mouse. And as soon as I stop moving my mouse, she goes back to her phone, which I thought was quite unique, given that the whole story above is about meditation. So yeah, what we're able to do is actually, we're working with a learning designer at the moment and trying to work out how we can get the triggers from these to be able to trigger stuff inside. So we've got one where we've got 3 characters, and you can choose your level, and then based upon your level, then triggers the content. It shows different content based upon that, but the animations are just incredible for it. So we'll then follow that animation all the way down the page and kind of build out these beautiful kind of slightly unique and bespoke content items over the top. I think that's everything. I wanted to keep it all to authoring at this time. We do have a small kind of hosting platform where you can do Q&A over your content with AI, but we'll leave that for another day. So I've realized I've got a lot of time left on mine. I'm sorry if I rushed it, but there was a lot to show. Tom, I think I'm there.
Amazing. No, it's really exciting to see something so different to what we're all probably used to using at the minute in terms of authoring content. I think we kind of had this chat a couple of times now, and please do jump into the chat with questions, thoughts, opinions, things you're thinking you might be able to build with this. Because the thing that kind of jumps to my mind is we were talking yesterday and the day before, in fact, about how we're at that point where we've kind of gone, okay, yep, cool, AI, it's a thing, but how's it going to be useful? Like actually useful to me? How's it going to really make my job easier or make me better at my job? I think that's kind of this is really exciting to see in regard to that. Couple of things coming through. So Go Ginger Learning, interesting platform. Thanks for showcasing. Oh, Jane with a question. What was the last black and white animation called? And that's this one on the screen.
That's a Rive file. So rive .app, and you can go and check out the really beautiful animations. They actually enable you to do like full body mesh constructions of everything, so you can actually trigger their arms and everything. So yeah, just going to double check that. I do have one more slide, by the way. I should have probably pulled that up as well. So we kind of want you to come and join us at quantic.co. Come and sign up, have a little play. We're open to product conversations. Join us on our kind of chat. We do roundtables where we invite you in to come and have a chat with us around what you're building, what things are you missing. We share our prompts, which we've had a few questions of people being like, why? We just want to be open in a world where kind of AI is slightly scary. Sharing prompts is actually a really good kind of way to go about this, because people can see what we're prompting, how we're prompting. But also they might have better suggestions. You know, we're product and engineer kind of developers, but if someone came in and was like, do you know what, if you worded it just this way, what would the result be? And we're up for trying everything. So we have a really kind of collaborative approach to our product design. You can talk to any of our kind of previous customers who are working with us directly as partners, and they love it. And we love it. And we have a love for learning and collaboration. So come and join us at quantic.co.
That's fantastic. I think, yeah, loads of exciting stuff there. I think things like Rive, I think we're just starting to talk about them in the space. I think a lot of these things have been the kind of, I don't know, like the exclusive use of web developers almost. And now we're kind of almost starting to cross that line where we go, oh, you know what, we could use this stuff. Maybe we're a bit behind on the uptake in that regard, but I think it's great to see us very much on that path now, and tools like this helping.
And I think, you know, as we were talking about kind of authoring tools, and one of the really nice things about that is that, you know, we have all those features in it as well. We've layered AI in between, so you can still use snippets, but you can decide not to use snippets. You can build the page out how you like. You can just do it from scratch as well. So we kind of offer all the ways because we know that people work in different ways. And sometimes AI isn't that, it shouldn't be the tool of choice because you have very specific content domain knowledge. It's really good at picking that out, by the way. But sometimes you're like, no, I just need it like this. And it'd probably be faster for me to run it through snippets and then pull it out and build the course. So we kind of offer all these different ways. So it's kind of this kind of unique kind of workspace where we're just seeing people build out really lovely stuff.
Fantastic. Well, all the links that have been mentioned for Daryl on LinkedIn, for Quantic, and for Rive will be in the, or they are in the chat. They will be in the video description as well. And I mean, any questions, I would encourage you to reach out. I think every time we have a chat, I walk away knowing a little bit more or thinking about something in a slightly different way, which is a really nice thing to have in our space, where I think quite often there is a danger that we think the same way for a very long time. And I think anything that challenges us to sort of think differently or think again is good for us. So thank you so much for taking the time today. Thank you so much, everyone, for being involved in the chat. Our next session, we have a little bit of a gap now. Next session is at 4:45 GMT. With Rebecca, we're looking at crafting inclusive learning experiences. So another really great topic. We are now down to our last 3 sessions of the day, which is very exciting. And then at the end, there's a very brief session with me that if you've got time this evening, I would love your input, because it's basically the kind of what next conversation opener. What does the future of IDTX and these events look like? What does the in-person event in October start to look like? Because October is like kind of terrifyingly close, actually. Like January's already gone, February's almost gone. So I've got to start thinking about that pretty soon. So I would welcome all of your input for that conversation. But until then, thank you all so much for your time, and we shall see you all soon.
Thanks.
iSpring is an e-learning software provider dedicated to streamlining e-learning worldwide. With a team of top industry specialists, they create tools that make e-learning both efficient and enjoyable. Their AI-powered course creation tool, iSpring Suite, and the iSpring Learn LMS are the top choices for thousands of instructional designers, L&D pros, and content developers. Crafted with the user workflow in mind, iSpring ensures a seamless experience for the creation of impactful learning content. Their website, ispringsolutions.com, offers a treasure trove of e-learning resources perfect for those seeking to boost their L&D career or elevate their organization's e-learning practices. You can check out the iSpring Solutions website using the link in the description below.